Welcome back to the Smithsonian Park build. We are finishing up Oviraptor for our casawaries. And we'll thread in a little bit of extra fossil just to clear them out here. In the meantime, our next animal is probably... Give me a second. Przewalski's horse? Something like that? Where's my list? Here it is. Let's find out how it's spelled. It is... Przewalksi or SKI, probably. I probably also misspelled it. Well, Przewalski, sure. So these are going to be, I'm thinking Iguanodon? Because we can do the Dominion variant with like a brown skin for another quadrupedal ornithopod that gives vague horse energy. And there are two of these, and they have their own little pen just kind of across and slightly down the path from the elephant enclosure. So let's get that going. I could hold you back and just like use you since you're kind of closer to needing to rest. We put in the repeaters for the new power network, so that is good to go. We got a new aviary going in with which will be our breeding aviary. We can go ahead and just show that. That's just over here. We're just going to breed Dimetrodons for hatchlings and then put the hatchlings in the proper aviary so we only have a single dome and they can actually breed. Because this just isn't big enough to even put a nest in because the game is like that. Contract complete amenities.
You're
okay,
turning out
sure.
to be someone that I can truly
Oh yeah, and this
rely
is now
and my
powered
trust
on.
is not something that many have managed to earn.
Thank you, person that I definitely remember is in the game. Sushi? This is a... That works, like a... I don't know what the Panda Cafe actually serves in the park. That's what this is. So sushi does kind of fit the Asian vibe, at least, I guess. In terms of, like, game mechanics, it's kind of what it wants me to be, so... I'm gonna just say that that's good to go. Alright, all 4 adults being lifted over. Yes, I did see the new news about Muttaburrasaurus. What was traditionally thought to be the nasal bones, like the bulbous part of the head of the Muttaburrasaurus, traditionally thought to be nasal bones, turns out to not be nasal bones. The skull actually extends forward further in front of that bump. And they have a little tiny pinched beak mouth in front of that. So they got a very triangular head that shrinks down a lot in the front. So a little longer than traditional depictions of Muttaburrasaurus and much more narrow in the front. Very, very interesting. The depiction of Muttaburrasaurus in the paper, like this very like naked chicken skin colored Muttaburrasaurus, is maybe a little unfortunate for making it not look awful. I've seen a few other renditions of the Mutta that look a little bit better. Alright, we're looking for 2 cassowary brothers. So we're going to do kind of this Svalbard for the base color, very dark. And then we need some blue highlights. So we could do something like this, which ends up with a very red crest, which isn't very cassowary. Or we can do something like this that gives it more of the blue specifically on top of the skull. The lighting feels like it's being a pain in my ass in here for some reason. I don't know why it's so goddamn dark. Like, this is the daytime filter. Like, that's all the brighter it gets. I don't know if I want the blue or if I want the red. Because, like, there's blue and red, but it's really blue on the head. So, like, the red crest really doesn't feel right. So I think I like this better. With the blue. I think we'll do 2 of these. Irwin and Dundee. Sure, I guess we'll just do that. And I'll put the other guy on break while that hatches. Alright, I think I'm happy with the choice looking at it in-game. Pretty nice blue on the head that makes... You know, it's not the full neck and head being blue, but it is a nice bit of blue that stands out. So I think that works for me. Irwin... They need a surprising amount of ground leaf too here. Hopefully they find enough as the territory expands. Especially with the second one coming in. Because if it doesn't work, I might have to get more creative. Oh no, they're good. They're both good. And this is Dundee. Irwin and Dundee, the Cassowary brothers. And I assume our Ornitho friends are going to be fine with these as well. Alright, cool. Alright, Iguanodon. One Iguanodon expedition. Alright, so this is the basic layout for the Przewalski, whatever, horse enclosure, the Iguanodon pen. Basically got some parking lots back here, kind of an extended one that goes here, then one that's further over this way. These should be kind of off of the road, but in the interest of the park not taking a billion hours playing with roads, we've just kind of left them all connected up using the same one we've been using. And the horse enclosure is kind of this wedge-shaped thing that comes right over here, between like the road back here and the park itself here, coming just off of this little gap that heads to the back part here with the elephants. So we don't have visibility currently. That's probably going to be fine. I'll put like a hotel here maybe, because there's like a mammal house that we're not going to do anything with. Let's just do that. Let's just make the mammal house, quote unquote, a hotel. Because the hotel has mammals in it, right? Really, what is a hotel but a mammal house? I think that makes sense. I've convinced myself. We only have small, so I guess we'll just go with a small Jurassic Park one for the vibes. Do we use a JP one up here when we put in a hotel? I mean, this hotel is not necessarily staying, but we do need hotels in the park just for functionality. I mean, there's nothing in the park that really quite looks like this, though. Maybe we do a more traditional hotel. Actually, can I find out what the mammal house looks like? Maybe that's the thing to do. It's kind of a square building with like a bunch of glass windows in the top. Honestly, a little bit of Texarkana vibes, vaguely. Maybe. Ooh, maybe this. This looks good. In terms of like the kind of brown roof. I think we'll just go with this. I think this is close enough for vibes that this can be our small mammal house, aka a hotel. So we got a little hill, and then we should have a little shelter thing in here. So maybe we just grab one of these, grab a duplicate, and move it over in here. This kind of goes like in front of this kind of like raised area, like here. Something like that, roughly. It just seems to be like a sunshade maybe, so maybe it shouldn't have this little toy thing hanging off here, maybe. And then some sort of other structure is needed, like some sort of barn, basically. Have we used this? Ornithomimus stable in the park. This might be perfect. I don't think I used this anywhere. Yeah, let's use this. What's the parking lot for? There's parking lots there in real life. Since it's based off a real-life park, we're trying to kind of emulate the distribution of the parking lots a little bit. So yeah, kind of over here, there's just kind of this structure, basically. So we'll give them a little shelter right there, and then we've got like our either the hotel or the activity center or the combination of the two gives this the mammal house vibe. This is Mutasaurus's animal house, by the way. You can look that up on the workshop. And then some water in here somewhere. There's like a big tree in the middle too, maybe. And then I don't know about water. It's hard to tell, like, the exact layout of this place. Maybe I just put a little bit of water in, like, out here somewhere. Yeah, then we do this, we grab the root riddled dirt, and we give it the nice kind of trampled vibe. But not the middle part with the rock, or that looks weird. So let's go back to that. We need to break up how conical that hill looks. So we gotta do a little bit of this. It looks a little weird. A little hard to tell exactly how this hill looks, kind of tucked in the corner here. But this is fine. It makes the exhibit look a little bit like something. I'm okay with it, I think. Now, the question is going to be, of course, will the Iguanodons accept this enclosure or not? Why don't we put, like, the ranger station, like, right over here by the building? How about here, like, right in front? Sure. Alright. We had a Dimetrodon notice. Do we have eggs? Sea animal claiming nest. 4 eggs. Okay, we got a bunch of eggs coming. So both sets of bread. This is great. Movement in nest. Alright, some little feathery Dimetrodons. So yeah, I want these guys not just because they're smaller and more bird-like in that sense, but also because this is the only way you get a feathered Dimetrodon in this game is to have the juveniles, which is a choice. I really don't like the idea that they lose their feathers as they mature in the franchise. That's, as far as I know, there's actually no support for that interpretation of the Dominion Dimorphodon, but I guess it's not technically wrong either. 5, 7, 8, and 6. If they are not humble social, I guess we'll just get rid of them. Another 3 eggs coming. Muttaburra's not quadrupedal. That's why I want to use the Iguanodon. Plus, we never use the Dominion Iguanodon, so it's a good chance for us to use it. Alright, Iguanodon fossils. 56% with a little bit of seasoning. Sure. Actually, no, that's fine. We'll do that. Because it's probably going to be... Well, it might be 2 trips yet. Yeah, because the Iguanodon is still there. So, let's go grab the Belgium shit. And then double back for the other one. Second batch of Dimorphodons is being moved over. We also have... Oh, did these hatch already? Yeah, okay. The other batch of Ornithomimosaurs hatched. So... We're supposed to have, I think, how many babies? 4? I think 4 babies. We're missing 1. I remember that. So if we do age 4, age 4, age 0. So 7, 8, 9. So we got to get rid of 1 of the, or 2 of the new 3. Keeping 1. Resilient, humble, social. Resilient, humble, docile. Resilient, humble, social. So 7 and 9 go away. And then we can clear the nest as well now. Give them a little bit more environmental space that way. Alright, and that's our Rheas and our cassawaries for the external part of the aviary. Done. Once we get rid of the 2 extra ones. And is that a storm rolling in? No, disease? Oh, rabies. Well, I mean, that is a problem. Let's not have that be a thing. Okay. Rewild 7. Rewild 9. And then we got 3 more Dimorphodons here to move. Multi-select 2 and 3. Finalize selection and transfer. 1, 2, 3. Alright. We can look at our bird selection once they're all in here and flying in their proper little mini aviary. I guess I can leave the adults in here for now. I can always get more Dimorphodons and transfer them from the breeding facility. 56 and 23. Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to take 2 more digs, maybe. If Belgium is still active, it is. That is annoying. Alright, well, there it goes. Question, is my Oviraptor on fire right now? I think his tail is literally lit on fire, because that is the only explanation for what I am seeing right here. This is wild. He's leaving just a smoke trail behind him. What the fuck? It's very funny. You can just tell where he is because of the cloud that he leaves in his wake. He's actually gas-powered. That's why this has happened. Okay, one small outbreak later, Herrerasaurus and Trodon both escaped. Thankfully, nobody killed each other, so that's something. You know what? Probably can wait. That's probably going to be one batch left between both dig sites, so let's get that going. Put in a shelter over here just because we kind of need shelters. So might as well get it in. We need shelter over here. Bathroom over here and here. So for some of these... Thank you for the dramatic sound. Herreras are fighting for dominance. For some of these shelters and bathrooms, small buildings, I'm not really going to be too particular about exactly where they should go. We'll just kind of slot them in. The aviary area does kind of have some other structures scattered around a little bit. So we could try to like make use of that. So there's some stuff like over here. So maybe that's the best way to do it. Put down a shelter over here to kind of simulate briefly one of the other buildings. And we can do the same with like the bathroom. Let's just put it like here. I mean, the bathroom should be like inside the main compound. Probably. It's fine. It works. And then a bathroom over here. So this little elephant trail thing back here, I'm looking at the satellite photos right now. There's kind of some like twists and turns and other stuff going on in there in the trees. It's really hard to tell like what it is on the satellite maps because it's not like the main walkway. Might even be like backlot type stuff. So maybe I just like toss a bathroom down here. Like at the end of the path. Or maybe just like slightly off of it, like in the trees here. Sure. Because, like, definitely hard to tell visually what's going on with some of this. I think just sneaking a shelter and a bathroom in there is fine. Okay, we should have enough stuff here to look at the Iguanodons while this also goes off. No? There it is. I forget what it looks like. So the horses, we have 2. Let me find their info. Okay, they're light brown. We've got 2 of them, Olga and Dolores, Dhalores. Once thought to be answered to the domestic horse, they're actually distant cousins, diverged 500,000 years ago. So we're looking for a nice light brown female, probably, honestly, a blank. That's probably just about it. Honestly, the Dominion one wouldn't be bad if it was actually kind of stripy, but the horse does seem to be rather just brown. It's just a brown horse, man. Very light brown. I think we'll just do this. They're going to be a little lackluster, but it's a generic wild horse. Like, really? You can't get Max Humble Social on Iguanodon? Why they always got to do my boy like this? Why does he always have, like, the worst genetic spread? Oh, yeah, because we don't have the DNA done. Just kidding. I rescind my comments. It's just my fault. It's not Iguanodon's fault. Or JWE3's fault. It's just me. Should be it for Iguanodon. 2179. Perfect. PS5 version sucks. Yeah, there's lots of problems with the PS5 version of this game, right? Or all console ones. Just saying hi. Your buddy's having you and the other guys over for a visit, Primal. Alright, thanks for stopping by. You go have fun. Alright, yeah, Iguanodon, light brown, no patterns. We already saw that. I did put the extra pip of social in there. We could start digging up Kayuajara. We could try having some baby Kais to go with the Dimorphodons for more birds in the aviary. I think I'm willing to take a crack at that for diversity's sake. Oh yeah, we never looked at the Dimorphodons. We should see what we ended up with for our 7 little guys. We've got number 5. I thought I paused you. Number 5 is not a very exotic looking bird. Not sure what's going on with the wing texture there, huh? That's a new one. What is that? Like a shadow glitch? It almost looks like water reflections on the wings being weird. I don't know. Number 6. That's a yellow one. That gets some tropical bird vibes vaguely. 7. Slightly pinkish, I guess. Number 8. We're not allowed to zoom in on number 8. He's shy. There we go. Little red one. Yeah, these are pretty bland overall. They don't really give much for tropical bird vibes or anything. We should get some Kais in here just to mix it up. Also, is it just me or do the wings look like extremely untextured? Like, getting really big plastic vibes here. And maybe the glitched shadows aren't helping that. Oh, is this because of, like, the feathering? Is that why the shadow gets so weird? I think so. Because it's trying to account for, like, the feathering in some way, but it just kind of gets glitchy. Number 11, little greenish one. Not even really that green. Okay, well, that's the adult, or the babies, so... We'll see if we get more babies. I might just call that one good. What's our territory
One
look
of the
like?
easiest ways to stress an animal is to take away its food. Let's avoid that.
Why are they all
Keep
starving?
'em fed.
Wait, what is going on with Is this one just stuck, maybe, actually? Because they're a fish eater. I think he's just sleeping too long. Get up! You're dying, idiot! Well, whatever. Alright, few fossils. We'll get those processing on you. We'll go ahead and set another expedition real quick. On, sure, you for maximum speed. And let's go look at our selection of exotic horses. Skittish. You know what? Hold on. Horses, famously skittish. Famously skittish animals. I can only assume a genuine wild horse, even more skittish. We're going to take specifically the skittish ones. We can take the humble tolerant just for shits and giggles, I guess. All right, 2 horses. Right, like that. And then the generalist can go on a nice paid vacation. All right, looks like 2 ambers finishes off that genome. And then let's see if these guys are going to accept their little enclosure or if I got to work double time to make it work. We do have a little bit of space that we could like reclaim here. I can definitely, you know, extend this over closer to the parking lot or move these buildings down and extend it that way. But I'm kind of hoping it just works.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Iguanodon to the...
We just Todd Howard it and it just works. Nice little high effort Iguanodon sign somebody made. There's kind of like a little, like a little, plaza is the wrong word, like a little outbow or something with some signs and stuff here at this exhibit. I decided to just stick a sign here on the path side and call it a day. Okay, you need a bunch of wetland. That's going to really ruin the vibe. That's really going to just mess up the whole vibe I'm going for. You should have thought about this before you made me have to do this, because it's really ruining the aesthetic of the enclosure. I really wish you wouldn't. Oh, can I put it like under the building and still have it count? It's kind of weird. But like, I don't know what's in that building. A building could be full of wetland. I don't know. I've never been inside the building. Then we need some ground fruit too, which is also gonna kind of make it a little awkward. That's just the one of them. It's gonna be close. Gonna be tight. Rabies. Rabies. It's always rabies. If it's not rabies, it's rabies. All right, medical. Hopefully medical can get over there. God damn it. It sucked me all the way back across the park. Ugh. Get in there, medical. I'm going to trust you to pathfind all the way over there. Ranger team. You are going that way. Where's Ranger team 2? I need to get status info on the chungs, which unfortunately I have to do manually. It just doesn't work. Wait. Wait, maybe he thinks he can do it.
I know some folks are uncomfortable with this, but allowing the animals to fight mirrors.
Okay, wait, it does work. Okay.
Ultimately, will benefit them in captivity.
So it's probably partially dependent on the exact pathfinding, how it works out. But they can get in there. All right, 81% on our horsies. So we have, let me get the names. This is Olga and Dolores. So Olga is easy enough. Olga. No. Stop. Olga and Dolores. Fuck, why does the I always stay? Dolores and Olga. Alright. A little bit more wetland, a little bit more plants. A little bit more water. Oh my god. So needy. You need so much stuff. Okay, water done. I guess we'll just have to give up on like the ground vibe, like the trampled vibe of things, because it's just not, we just don't have the space. So we're gonna thicken this up here more, I guess, and then put in more wetland in the back. Because I have to. I'd also like to fit a tree in here, because there should be a tree in the front. Like a big tree. I can't tell what kind of tree, but maybe I just want to use the nice willow tree again. I think this was a pretty nice looking willow tree. Just put it like right here. Yeah. Alright. That'll do. They're a little yellower, maybe, than I thought they were going to be, but it's still pretty much a light brown. I think it's still perfectly fine. Okay, so Casawaries as, like, tropical birds, right? That's kind of the idea here. So, to that end, I'm thinking bright red and green. Blue is maybe okay, too. But maybe I just want to specifically control the colors as much as I can to make sure, like, it gets the right vibe. Let's do that. Let's do Sonoran and Amazon specifically. Males and females. And then for the patterning, like, maybe we just go wild, I think. Because the patterning won't even matter anyway on the babies, actually. It's just the base color, so that's probably fine. We got to put in the traits. Save and exit. Begin task. 4, 4, and 3. And then, yeah. So next animal is something to think about. Now this is the mammal house. The, down the road from the mammal house is a bunch more, like, other houses. There's, can I get the, yeah, small mammal house, great ape house, reptile discovery center. Which is kind of where, like, the path kind of, like, curves around the great ape house, which we're not going to do anything with.
Synthesis procedure complete.
That could be the hotel, maybe. We can move the small mammal house, the critter house, up, move the hotel down, and then bend the path back around it for the reptile discovery center, which we are going to have some animals in there for that. That might be the way to do it. So it would, like, bow out and around like this, basically, like a big arc. Only 2 eggs, so we might want to do 2 batches. Okay, we'll do a green male, red female. So at least we can get a mix of these two. We'll do you. Alright, so next animals to unlock. Let's see, we did piscivores already. And we already have Dimetrodon. So probably those two. We'll work on the reptiles next. So let's do Irritator first. And then, yeah, maybe we just cook up a second round. Alright, so I grabbed this nice little reptile house exhibit off the workshop. I filled it up with deep water. We're going to try this as either Irritator or Dimetrodon, see if the single Irritator we want for one American alligator or the group of Dimetrodon for the Cuban crocodiles can fit in. In fact, let's look up the Cuban crocodiles. Well, nope, because it's got me verifying my shit. Okay, great. Crocodile. How many? Cuban crocodile. Actually doesn't tell me. Cool. Yeah, no idea how many crocs it is. Maybe I have it written down in my notes, which come from some other places. 6 crocodiles. 4 on display, but split into pairs. Awkward. Okay. Well, anyway, the other thing I want to do here is to demonstrate the awkwardness that is... Oh, cool. Interesting. Why is that in there? Maybe so you can see it from the other side. Well, anyway, oh yeah, because there's like a whole interior thing. But yeah, the awkwardness that is trying to integrate a viewing gallery into another structure, right? So in this case, I just chucked it in here. What did I just delete? I deleted the floor tile. That's probably not the worst idea. So that is the viewing gallery, right? No, that is interior walls. Maybe. Okay. It can be pretty goddamn fiddly to try to integrate actual visibility into these. Something like that. And there's like a glass structures over there. So like maybe I want to okay, first off, I should probably slide this down. Which is always fun. Sure wish I could see through the goddamn fucking dust clouds. Always getting in my way. Alright, so what do we actually see? That is what we see. That's fine, because the goal is to have visibility more than anything. I might want this back even closer to the path if I can swing it, actually. Like, maybe I do it like this, like all the way clipped out. That doesn't look that bad. Like, the banner is a little weird, but, like, the fact that this clips into the roof doesn't even look that, like, impossible. I hate that it does that when I click the movement. I hate that I can't just immediately jump to advance move, that I have to, like, start wiggling it everywhere. What if I do this? That's going to put that way out there on the path, but it's a big arc of path. I feel like that could work. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's actually almost perfect. You can actually see the interior little, like, reptile cave. Shit. I think that's good. Like, we're clearly inside the exhibit, because you could see, like, to the right-hand side this, like, plant, but I think that's fine. Can I like, first-person view inside here? Oh, sick. I can actually see what's happening. Clean. Let's just ignore the fact there's a plant in there, because getting in there to fix that feels like it's impossible. The fact that you can see anything in here is kind of amazing. Random thought occurs to me. Can I put a feeder in there? Because that's kind of amazing if true. Not exactly. Also, if I did get a feeder in here, would I ever be able to have it be restored? Part of it is probably, like, I could put it inside the rock. I wish it was easier to do stuff like this, to, like, get down inside a little cave thing and, like, play around. I could just put it here. It's only relevant if it's Dimetrodon, but still want to try that. I did start digging up Irritator, but I think we should do Dimetrodon first, because the Dimetrodon has a larger population. The Irritator is just a solitary individual, so it'll be a little bit easier to maybe accommodate it. So let's pivot over to Dimetrodon, which is dug up in, what, Texas? Is it only Texas? Red beds or whatever? I think so. Okay, Casawaries. So we've got 3 more eggs. I might as well go ahead and hatch like 2 more females. A red and a green, and then a male. Was my other male... Okay, let's do this. Let's release these. Female Gallade, which is a rare Pokemon W. Interesting. I didn't know that. You bought this when it first came out for 60 pounds, played it for 4 days, and dipped. There are certain areas where the game does lag, I will say. This has been discussed to death by me at this point, but... Alright, we have a red female and a green male, so let's try to get a red male. Red male, green male, green male. So red male, another green, and another red. Seems good to me. We'll get them synthing up. So what we got for Kais, how do they feel about their biome? They have no information, because they have not realized they are free yet. There we go. So they are barren, not arid, because this is a distinction. And they do like an occasional tree. A little bit of tree. There you go. 2 whole tree. That's enough. Looks like the Dimorphodons won't breed without me going through the effort. Well, no, it's yellow, not red, so they can breed. I think I'm just going to leave it and see what happens. I'm not going to force anything. Decent selection of Dimetrodons. Gets us to 81%. Throw in a little Tapejara. Go back out into the field and get the rest. And how much Irritator do we have left over? 65% current. What's going on inside this animal house? Why is the Jeep in here? What are you doing? I like that both my Iguanodons are inside too. I feel like the Jeep is... Nope, they're not stuck. Interesting. Okay. That was a fun little weird moment, but sure. Four Casawaries babies on the way. Dimetrodon fossils acquired. Genome complete. We'll do that on you. Immediately grab the Irritator as well. Grab a rest. It's egg time. Okay, 2 little green ones, 2 little red ones. Perfect start for these guys being introduced into the proper aviary. Humble social, humble social, humble social, humble social. Good, great. No weird shit with the genes. All expected. which is great. Kai Kai. Kai Kai. And release another wave of 3 more adults.
You ever heard of a keystone species? It's one that has a disproportionate impact on...
Have you ever heard of the keystone species dialogue? It's like one of 3 voice lines he's got. It's like one of the few lines he just says over and over again. Dimorphodons? Okay, I mean, that's fine, I guess. You can do that if you want Dimorphodons. I'll allow it. Alright, 4 Dimetrodons is what we're looking for. These are described as... Okay, let me read the description. Cuban crocodiles have short, broad heads with a bony ridge behind the eyes. Shut up, Dimetrodon. They are green and olive black with the yellow speckles. So... green and olive black. What exactly does that mean? I mean, Yukon, kind of, maybe? And then I could do... like, this could be interpreted as yellow speckles. Because, like, just looking at the images, I mean, I would just say that they're kind of... well, that one's maybe good, too. We could mix them up a little bit. We could do, like, this one and this one. They're not so dissimilar. Unless any of these other ones make sense. I don't think so. I think we do this. I think this one's a little too vibrant, maybe. We do, like, this one and this one. Actually, maybe I like that one more. This one's maybe a little too dark. Maybe we just like this one. Then we do the yellow. And then we do Champlain here, and we do, again, the Calcarana. Sure, why not? Alright. We'll put that onto you and you and you and you. No, you. Yeah. Alright, it gives us 4. Perfectly fine. I can do an aggressive male. Couple of strong ladies, sure. I have a feeling the pen's not going to work, but I definitely want to give it a fair shot. And if it doesn't, we try the irritator and we move the Dimetrodons like to a holding pen somewhere. Maybe I literally just make a holding pen now. I guess I need it. Alright, these guys are getting moved over. Undiagnosed ailment. What are we doing? Get in there. Take care of my guys, please. Thank you. Alright. 40 seconds on dimes. Irritator fossils. It is not yet complete. Okay, Dimetrodons are out, but we have to deal with Salmonella now. So, doing that real quick. 5, 5, 3, and a 2. Fossil check. So that should be it for Irritator, and probably Tapajara as well. So that's done. Let's hold off on doing any other animals right now. Dimetrodons. This is almost certainly not going to work. Also cannot actually find a viable corner to deliver animals to. Maybe? Okay, we got 2. We got 2 of them in there. Come on. Okay, we got a third one somewhere. You can do it. Get them in there. Let's just... okay. Get it moving.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Iguanodon to the park.
Now, it needs to be arid, so I guess we do... maybe I just do, like, sand in here.
Dimetrodon to depart. Asset delivery confirmed.
Okay, a little bit of cover, a lot of arid.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know what? We do have that little quirk of you know, territories being outside of the area and having that work. The real question is going to be, can we get ranger info on these guys? And can we actually get them happy? So, like, if I just have woodland here... Okay, they got their cover. Do a little arid grassland there, I guess. Right like that. Sure. They don't have nearly enough deep water, though. So that's not going to work. Because putting deep water outside of this exhibit's just not going to be a thing, right? That's one Dimetrodon. Yeah. Nah, it's not an option. It's not going to work.
It's so easy to forget about the threat of disease when you're staring at giant teeth all day. But it's there, and it's just as scary. Glad we're doing the research to help with that.
All right, we'll just chuck them over here in a holding pen until we can get something that works for them. We'll just kind of forget about them for a little bit. I'm sure nothing bad will happen while I'm forgetting about these guys over here. Hopefully we can make it work with the irritator.
We are pleased to welcome a Dimetrodon that has been collected.
Hopefully just one Erie is like enough to make it work.
Asset has been transported.
Especially with like the bleed over. The deep water is the limiting factor. As long as the deep water works, everything will work.
Delivery has been completed.
So that's getting moved. Kai's in the aviary. We've got to check on. So they need a little bit of arid. They don't have enough arid or barren? Really? Okay. Aviary's getting a little tight, actually. Okay, almost. Very close. Very close to working. What if I tried to put a little bit by the water? Nope. Okay, nobody touch anything. It worked. Okay. So, that's going to be it for Kai's then. How are the Dimorphodons? The Dimorphodons actually also kind of almost at the limit. They're going to run out of water. All right, let's get these guys moved over. Been forgotten about temporarily.
Heading to collect the asset.
And then the aviary situation. So, we have more Dimorphodon juveniles. Let's do... I think we're done breeding pterosaurs. Sorry, can I kill this? Kill this? Oh, being claimed. Well, okay. We're just gonna start clearing these guys out. Okay, well the eggs are there now. It's is what it is. All right, irritator. So this is the American alligator, of which there is one. Do we have a name for the alligator? This is the question. Also, I should name the other guys. Meet the animals. One female alligator named Wally. Why is the female alligator named Wally? I have questions. Maybe they didn't know it was a lady when it was named. Alright, one female alligator. Probably, is that too green, you think? Too much of a vivid green? That one's just kind of yellowish, though. You know what? I'm okay with a more vivid green. I don't mind. Dark stripes? Maybe the black? I think I'm okay with that. It's like a cartoonified version of an alligator, but I think that's fine. Max humility. I'll give him social just for shits and giggles, even though you're alone. Sure. Alright. Clearing up the aviary now. We've got all the babies we can support. For our Dimetrodons, they are in fact happy. Let's name them real quick. Dimetrodon number 1. Where are our Cuban crocodiles? I had the name list. Blanche and Hefe is a pair. Oops. Missed the E. Blanche. Why am I not allowed to switch to one of the other Dimetrodons? There we go. Weird. Hefe. And the other couple is Rose and Miguel. So Miguel. It's canonically Blanche and Hefe are a couple, and Rose and Miguel is a couple. They're actually kept in separate exhibits. So we could do that. We could consider doing 2 separate little Dimetrodon exhibits. Have I ever eaten alligator? No. I'm not. I'm from the Midwest. You're lucky I've seen an alligator. All right. Large appetite thirsty or thirsty aggressive? I guess I'll take the aggressive, given the choice. Just in time for a storm. Fantastic. Well, okay, but this one is not a bad storm. This is a 90%er, not an 80%er. You know, because the pyros, they get mad when they go under 90. But here they're fine. So probably will be less fence damage. I don't think the storm will be that interesting. I'm going to cut it. Yeah, storm passes without any incident. Literally nothing happened. Not a single thing occurred. Completely irrelevant. All right. It worked. You got to ignore kind of the fact that, like, shit's a little weird. Well, I can't even get that. There we go. Yeah, rocks are floating. It's fine. Just as if you're not in the water, you don't notice, right? The water actually extends like all the way back over here. Can I do a little bit of first person view? Yeah, it's now a nice boggy little spot in here. All right, cool. I mean, it's got a good vibe actually with like the bog and stuff. Can I just walk into the water? Oh, it just sends me along the surface. Fair enough. Well, there she is. One American alligator. The pen only works because the territory does extend beyond it. But we do get kind of this neat little like rock walkway almost. Because I do need some rock outside the pen. So I thought, you know what? It kind of has a vibe, right? I think this is super neat actually. Having this like visible area like with this walkway. I really wish we had viewing paths. It really feels like we should have viewing paths. I just kind of really feel like the lack of those is pretty prominent. Now, she's going to be very hard to actually see from the surface, because almost the entire pen is actually deep water. Oh, she lost some somehow? How did you lose some? You were comfortable. Oh, maybe the territory adjusted? Weirdly? Okay, we're fine. We saved it. Everything is good. And your name is, weirdly enough, Wally. We're not going to question it. Wally the Irritator. I mean, that is gator vibes right there, just hanging out on the water surface. Nice thing as well, this thing doesn't need a feeder, which means the fact that the Jeep can't get in here doesn't matter. The only question is going to be whether or not the Jeep can get the status info from it with the fact that it's like blocked by the pen, which it should be able to. Like, you can definitely do it manually. It's just a matter of if it can do it automatically correctly. So we'll have to see.
Working with Cabot, I'm more
I
wary
don't-
about delegating tasks
I
than
don't
I'd like to be.
care.
However, I trust you with this one. Please don't make me regret that.
All right, well, that's a good start to the reptile house section. So if we can get the Dimetrodons in here in a way that feels somewhat natural with this, then I'm pretty happy with it. Given that we might need a huge ass pen like this, maybe we have to make our own. I'm not too sure. This looks to be clear. There's another thing out of my way. What am I doing? I'm clearing out the water is what I'm doing. Deal with all this weirdness. Maybe put a little smoothness here so the Jeeps can traverse if they need to. And paint over all the grossness that was left behind by the ex-aviary. Cool. Alright. It's like it never existed. Alright. It looks like the Jeep can actually status check through the fence, which is perfect. It can even pathfind over there on its own, which is, like, fantastic. Alright, well, I think, let's take a quick peek before we end for today. Okay, why do I have no status info? You know what? It's just it'll take care of itself. Before we end the video, let's take stock of our birds. We got 4 Kyujara babies and 7 Dimorphodons. So 11 birds in our aviary is all we get. I'm okay with that. It feels like it should be a lot more than that, but 11's all we can fit comfortably. They don't have they have actually pretty poor territory overlap in terms of their own personal needs. Can I stand on this? Probably not, right? Lame. Given that some of them need trees, some of them need arid, some of them need rock, but it's fine. This aviary is pretty shit, but I'm not going to do anything else with it. This aviaries kind of almost always are shit. Unless you do something very like cave-like or something, but...
Every effort is made to provide a hospitable habitat.
There's our birds. Wow.
Stable social setting.
Alright, well, I think that was a pretty productive session, finishing up this stuff. Getting a really good start on the reptile sector. I really like this exhibit. I think this is really cool. We actually get to see the Irritator out of bounds for once. Yeah, it could just escape. It could just, like, climb over that. Have you ever seen an alligator climb over, like, a chain link fence? I've seen videos of that. There's no way this Irritator would stay contained realistically. But that's fine. We don't need to... It doesn't need to be realistic. It's still a very cool-looking exhibit. Alright, well... Yeah, I think next time we get the rest of the reptile house, and then we work on the Lemur Island, and go from there. Actually, before we end for today, we can get the research started for Lemur Island, which is going to be the small ceratopsians, Psittacosaurus and Microceratus. Alright, until next time.